desk on that game.
Huh?
You were supposed to be on desk on that game.
Okay, can I go desk on this game? Should we run the opener? Oh, yeah. Are they starting in like now, or are they starting in 5 minutes? It feels more like now. I think I could have run it, right? Oh shit, was that the... No. I don't have you reset mode? Yeah. I'm done. Okay, like, that was a lot of desperation.
Still have like this.
20 seconds! Someone on the cameras? Phillips?
No, but you've got 5.
5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. No. Coming to 1. Yep. 1, give me a shot.
Welcome back to Bruges Tom's Tourney 2024 here on ULTI.TV. You're watching the second of the Open Division semifinals. I'm Stefan Rapazzo, alongside Christina Obermeyer for this one. Mooncatchers from Brussels taking on Clapham from London. What are the expectations here, Christina?
Oh, I'm expecting a tight game, and no team will get the better of the other, for sure. Clapham are not in full strength. Moon are pretty much in full strength.
Yeah, Moon are a bright and shiny looking polished roster right now. Looking at this O-line, Karklins has come over, Yonkers, Blastman, Paul Arders, we'll talk a bit about him, but the American playing in the European season, not just a pickup. Love that, and we'll talk more. Yonkers gets things going, leads to Benjamin Ort. Ort to Blastman, the two Dutch in the handling set of this Belgian side. New additions. Arders now, far sideline. Arders goes under Mueller to Ort. Ort zips inside and misses and goes to Clapham early. The big shot goes right away. Arders trips over top a huge skying defense by Paul Arders. And Moon get the disc back, chance for a dirty hold. Ben Ort to Mueller. All sorts of space. Mark slow to arrive. Bontemps throws low, but Yonkers gets down. Fakes a big forehand, looks back to the middle. Now goes to Blastman. Asks for it back and gets it. Yonkers sends deep. And back corner is Karklins. He does drag the toes. Or did he launch off of the toes by the time he grabbed it? That is very close. I want to see it again. They've given it. And a 1-0 lead, a speculative one here. Here it is again. I think so. Yeah, I think that toe was still down, but only just.
Only just, but that's why Karklins is on that team, to make plays like this in situations that are a bit critical, because they were pushed back by Clapham quite a bit. And they really didn't have any other option, and then Yonkers just bombs one out, and Karklins is there to catch it.
They have been playing with their lines. Karklins, of course, was D-line at the last tournament, been shifted over to the O-line this weekend, and he does keep his toe down and makes a play, and we'll see what these lines look like at the end of the year at EUCF is really what all this chess matches are all about, moving their pieces, seeing what works best where, and that seemed to work from a first look in our seats. Ben Funk in the back of the end zone goes to Alexi Long. Moon come down with a zone, and Modiano takes it. Quick movement by Clapham. And now the big shot from Modiano hanging up. And Amala gets taken out, and no foul call. Betrancourt comes. I think Amala might have known he was out of position anyways,
Yeah,
and even though he got cleaned up.
He jumps without any contact, and after that someone jumps in, but the disc is already gone, so.
So Moon with a break chance. Desmarais, that's the other shift who's gone from O-line to D-line as they test their pieces. Bakeman's up line to Desmarais, and isn't he dangerous to have on a D-line? But he does overshoot, and Felix Martin football kicks that one out the back.
Yeah, I don't love to see that. A poor disc, but of course great defensive effort, making sure that the disc connects with the ground before there could have been any hero play. Of course,
I don't mind the kick, D. Any way to get it out, just get it out of there. I mean, obviously catch your D is still the recommended option.
He doesn't have to lay out for that, though.
Yes. So Alexi Long brings that disc and goes to Amala. Long. He goes deep. Modiano on the chase. 3 Mooncatchers coming around, but Modiano gets it. Goes back to Felix Martin, and somehow he threw backwards, but that was still in. But Martin's feet were that far forward.
So I guess we can call that bookends.
Yeah, that can work.
Okay.
So a score for Clapham, a dirty hold. Moon will put their O-line out there again. We'll talk a little bit about Paul Arders there, the Chicago Machine player, U.S. native who has hosted some of these players, played with some of these players. We've all heard there's an influx of top European players going over to the U.S. and before fitting in, but now really contributing to top shelf club teams. And while it's great to see that traffic is coming the other way now, I think we want to see more of that. Get these U.S. players integrated and injected into the European seasons. There is a lot of great ultimate here that's only on the rise, but Arders does throw right into trouble there. East to east, going the other way. The man, Tom Abrams, spins around with the stall count mounting now and gets out of a high stall count with a bump on the mark and an accepted foul.
You have to watch those marks, especially late in the stall count.
And tries to get around and a hand block on it, but that is being discussed as well.
And we'll get a replay of it. Coughlin, of course, has a very long wingspan, but you release that backhand so late that these backhand hand blocks are often a strip.
Abrams again, and Carclint again gets a touch, and it's going to go back again.
How many times is he going to try and do that? This time with the foot?
One more, let's go.
Trying to engage the dump. Now he's changing his focus with consistency here. Finally, Wilson comes and gives an option.
And he did get a touch on that as well.
Wilson inside to Tyler East. Straight back to Meade and quick over to Conrad Wilson. to goal, faking a hammer, and now the defense comes back. Bontemps is back on the mark. Wilson goes hammer, all alone in the back is Bogan Carey. And Clapham break the Mooncatchers early in this semifinal.
Yeah, you talked about the communication and from US Ultimate and European Ultimate, and then like the exchange of that. And I think one thing that European Ultimate has figured out a little bit better maybe is playing zone defense. And while it wasn't necessarily a zone but a poachy look, Paul Arders threw directly into a person poaching on that near side, not very aware of where his offensive player and intended target would be. And then Clapham just did very well of keeping the disc. Bit of controversy on the mark from Cartledge, but I think it was all smiles in the end and it worked out.
Did work out in the end. Cartledge putting on heavy pressure, playing some O-line D. Arders with the errant throw straight into the defense, and Clapham with a big first break on the board. We talked in the last game how La Fotta suffered a loss early to Bristol. This one, Clapham suffered an early loss to Chuck, and were seen as vulnerable, not that good, potentially beatable, and they still are Clapham.
I feel like this is always a talk at the beginning of tournaments where everyone's still getting the groove and it's like, oh, Clapham's beatable this year. They're not as good. But then semi-finals come around and the team just works and does, like, they know how to work under pressure.
So Yonkers brings it to the brick mark. Goes to Tom Blastman. Ben Ort.
It is somewhere. I'll type a bit.
To Blastman. They've got matching wraparound iridium lenses on. Blastman again.
Oh, that's not Erica. Just go back.
Gives a hammer. It's low, and I think off the ground. Indeed it is. Mueller lets it go. And Clapham pick up with another chance to break. Wally Gordon spins around, goes back to Axel Amala. Gordon again. Inside break and run through by Mueller. Ben Ort gets going, Mueller delivers, and what a delivery. Beautiful throw to preserve that hold.
Such nice movement from Ben Ort, going back behind to move his defense with him, and then just going right to the other way, the other direction into the end zone. And also that look, even like a high release backhand into the end zone. See that inside take by Mueller, and he immediately goes end zone, looks for Ort. I'm really not a fan of those inside shots because they have to be thrown so early and are very dangerous for like a run-through block by a defender.
Welcome to all our friends in the chat, our wonderful viewers. Thanks for being with us live right now or on demand a little bit later. Great to have you there. In either case, we ask for the same. Hit that like button for us. We would love your like and subscriptions. We're pushing now towards that 24,000 mark, almost there. Send it to your friends and loved ones and let them enjoy this ultimate as well. Mead and Clapham coming out of their own end. Josh East. Mead churns and cuts up line now to Conrad Wilson. Wilson leaves one behind for Abrams and back to Wilson. Mead to Conrad Wilson, inside to Mead. High to Abrams. He directs traffic with the offhand, and there's a pickup Fields.
Loads of work from a few players going And Clapham really working it from one side to the other, swinging the disc and slowly advancing it down the field.
Abrams wants Rag, but he loses his footing, but still gets him. He finds room at the continuation. Wilson gets the goal. It's James Mead who bids in the corner.
That was great flow on the break side. That archy bladey flick to open up the field, and then it's just an easy backhand pass and another easy backhand pass right off the bat. You see it here. Rag to Wilson, and then Wilson uses the movement rule where it's not to travel if you get the disc off in then 2 touches, and puts it into space for Mead for the score.
Yeah, used to perfection there, really. That was a catch and release, all in stride, and exposed the separation and took the goal. (3-2) Clapham, still with a break.
And so Clapham, as I already mentioned that, but not in their full roster, they're missing some O-line pieces. So it's mostly their D-line plus a few additions.
Arders. Blastman and then Mueller. Blastman gets it again. Ochinsky squeezes one through, finds Yonkers, and now Carclint slows down for one in all sorts of space. Bontemps to Yonkers. Yonkers swipes both ways, faking. Now inside Ochinsky, 2 strong hands, and he hits the deck as there's a call away from the play.
He slips on the ground a bit. The surface is still a bit wet, although we haven't had rain today, and it doesn't look like there's going to be.
Yonkers to Carclint, and Blastman in for the goal. Mooncatchers hold.
No, I would say no. I only like the last second. No, not even.
Such great offensive flow by the Mooncatchers. They finally found their rhythm. It took them a little while to connect on all these passes. But now, working through it with their O-line. Because we already talked about some additions to the O-line, but also they have been so good last year. They're just adding tiny pieces to make them even better. Still not where they want to be, maybe, early in the season.
But we need movement. You can't stay static.
They had a very close game too.
Let's go, boys. Great job, great job.
Tied up, 3 apiece. Clapham with a break. Moon just with the last hold. Rag mishandles, and that one's into the back puddle, picked up and into play from the very back of the end zone. Can Moon apply appropriate pressure? The bid, and Clapham move their way out of the danger zone. Mead with the disc. Rag gives back to Mead. Inside blast to Wilson. Rag comes back to the disc. Bontemps. Sorry, that's Vandenbroek takes a sniff at it, but not quite there. Betrancourt and Conrad Wilson. A little chest bump there, getting to know each other.
Yeah, just jumped in there for the mark. Betrancourt, of course, Peregot Player of the Year last year, although they apparently don't know what he looks like. But they're going to have a discussion and maybe even sort it out for in the future, for future situations like that.
Tap back into play. Wilson fakes the around. Mark is tight, we'll say. Eels shovels into the guts of Rag, and now Tyler East. East looks upfield, around to Wilson, and into the corner. Bogan carries there. Clapham continue to put points on the board from their offensive possessions.
Indeed, just sometimes it's hard to start again after a discussion or a stoppage. And you saw that first inside shot Wilson took was pretty contested, pretty close. But then once they got that first one off, they just float again so well on the break side, and Wilson getting it in front of the end zone and put it into Bogan Carey for the score. Bogan Carey, of course, an Irish man of origin. I think he played with the Irish mixed team last summer at EUC.
Was part of the Ranelagh team that won the championship a few years back.
And then he thought, oh, might as well help Clapham win another one.
Yeah, I mean, he was part of the Clapham team that won last year when they won as well, so he's got to picking up the rings, moving around. Of course, this Clapham team, you said D-line and a few others. I think it's D-line and captains is what it officially boils down to. So very much the D-line, and, you know, Mead and Abrams, and I'm not sure, but I think Rag is a captain. A few others. I think they may have 4. Somebody in the chats can help me out if I've missed on one there. Ochinsky goes to Arters. Mueller comes under. Carclinch, why not take a shot? But Amala, note the throw is perfect. You could have put that one high. Would have been a great contest, but Carclinch is class in Europe, getting to the top shelf.
Mueller all alone as well. Again, so much space to put that backhand into, and for him to even wind it up nicely. You could see the Clapham defense just standing there looking, because they were like, okay, what can you do? What? It's a one-on-one situation with Carclinch, and he's defended. Like the defender has like maybe 2 steps behind him, but with a guy in the caliber of Carclinch and the put as good as that, trailing to the break side slightly, you really can't defend that.
Undefendable. Anytime you get the throw out perfectly, it feels undefendable. 4-piece, Moon chasing a break, trying to slow down Clapham, who have been very smooth today. That goes out of bounds, and a brick will be offered. Mead comes in, hammer, and Desmarais, it gets in the way, busts up the play, and here comes the Moon defensive attack. Delas gets from Hockey, and up line looking for Crisafulli, but too far, that pass there. Clapham going again the other way. Now looking deep. Desmarais again gets in the way. Hockey. Back to Hockey and Dulas up the line. Break chance now very available. Crisafulli, the Italian import here in Brussels. Goes to Desmarais. He has to readjust. Goes wide and around. Liam Crisafulli. Oh, what a bid by Josh East. Takes it away and gives another chance to the O-line to hold.
Find the open man! Use your leg! Use your leg!
Mead finds Hillman. Back to Wilson and continued to Mead again. Conrad Wilson. Josh East wide open, lots of space right now. This point is waning on and a bit more separation available for these cuts. Abrams zips hard. Nugent strong hands. Mead far sideline, 2 on it. Mead goes around effectively, gets Hillman to fill the space. Leads to East, who has a look around and minds the line. Skips Mead and goes to Nugent. Takes it high, and we do have a pick away from the play.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. There's a lot of wild running going on there. Nugent screaming for this disc early as well. Great put into space for him to run under from East.
Nugent, and a foul called. Peterkena goes down and has called the foul on Abrams, as they discuss now.
He pushed off and he actually went to the ground. And Abrams received the disc. Seems to be contested since the disc goes back to Nugent.
Let's go, defense, come on, boys.
Nugent tapped into play. Mead comes first and bobbled and caught. Now shot in, back of the end zone, well spotted, in for the goal.
Well, a lot of things didn't go right in that point for Clapham. First, so in the initial offense, Mooncatchers had missed some kind of defensive matchup, and one player was completely open deep, and instead of just putting a disc out into space, Mead throws a hammer. We'll see it here, and a floaty one as well, and Danemarie has so much time to catch up, whereas McNerney, who was completely open and uncovered, would have just had to go to the one of the edges of the end zone and would have been open. Then another one where there's a bit of a conundrum there on the defense, and theoretically an open player thrown directly into Desmarais again, and then in the end they have to work so hard to get that disc into the end zone, but they do. And a very dirty hold.
They get the hold, though, staying ahead. As we see in the chat, Rag, Alexi Long, and Conrad are the captains, but they also have Mum Mead and Andy Hillman with them that would be otherwise O-line players here joining the D-line. Ochinsky drops back to Paul Arters. Arters goes center to Blastman. Blastman goes over top. Yonkers up to Bontemps. Ochinsky was there. Throw didn't go. Blastman. Surveying options, engages Arters in the dump space. Arters goes to Ort. Ort wound up a hammer, then cuts one inside, but an outside in throw. Arters shimmies and makes space in the backfield. The fake has Felix Martin jumping on the mark and goes to Ort on the far side. Ort gets the gainer. Blastman there. Blastman looking to goal now, looks to center. Ort. Ben Ort directing traffic with the offhand back to Blastman. Tom Blastman gets the fill from Arters, now wide to Yonkers, meters away, looks inside but doesn't like the lanes. Pops back Bontemps again into Yonkers. Fakes the hammer, then gets the lane he's been waiting for. Ochinsky, Johnny on the spot.
Very active handler core from Mooncatchers in that point. I'm kind of missing the connection to the stack at times, so the downfield cutters either looked off or not timed well enough. So I think they're fine swinging, right? But I think they could really sometimes work on these continuations and creating the flow that we've seen from Clapham time and time again. Once you get to the break side, just continuing on the break side.
Continue on is the necessity, the requirement. We got a jingle happening.
Half time.
MC Hammer can't touch this. Stop. Halftime. as the jingle goes. So it will be a halftime at 7 because it's tied at 5s. They will finish this point and someone will be at 6. And that hits the ground, rolls into Mead. Leading throw, Wilson. Abrams gives back to Wilson on the corner and circle cuts for him. And then clears the space, leaving Mead open in the backfield. Rag chisels through. Abrams overcooks it. No, he doesn't. Wilson makes a huge play, and he is shaken up on it.
Well, that was a bit overcooked, but Wilson tall enough and stretches his whole body out, and ow.
Full scorpion.
Yeah, his legs were up really high. Hope he's okay. He's holding his back.
Some chat as we wait for this one to get back into play about Arters. Getting some answers in the chat too. We'll tell you more once we get to 100 likes. That's easy.
Nugent stepping in for Wilson.
Nugent spins his look up the line and back to middle. And Mead, fighting a big mark, goes back to the sideline. Rag gets the up line. Rag, oh, what a D by Gaetan Vandenbroek. Oh my goodness. Coming around a trail edge smack away. Here it is again. Oh my goodness.
That was on the money, and that's the danger of the Mooncatchers defense. You think you're open? No, you're not.
Unbelievable. I'm still letting that one set in. What a D to Ritter with the disc now, and a break chance for Moon.
Of course, don't forget they're still trailing by a break.
De Ritter's got disc into play. Tight mark on Demarais by Abrams. They both go to ground and both quick back to their feet. De Ritter finds Abeltinch. The Latvian, one of two on this squad. Vandenbroek goes to Bakemans, the speedster. Bakemans with a big around. Demarais looks good. Is good. That's a big break. Moon back in front.
What a beautiful put from Bakemans, faking the flick and going for the around. 3 defenders around Demarais in the end, but no one close to getting where he caught the disc in the end zone. See here, Demarais trailing over Abrams, going to ground because of it. And it's so important to jump up quickly and put on the defense and not get carried away by that. See the flick, fake, Rag switches position to on the mark, which exposes the around break for Demarais. And that's a very well needed break. We're back on serve just before the half.
Back on serve, Moon with the huge break. Demarais providing the spark the defense needs on both sides of the disc. Last year's male matching European Open Player of the Year. Ben Funk winds up, no, goes to long. Funk again. He puts one over the shoulder to Modiano, and there is a contact call. Away from the disc, perhaps.
Mariano stays with the disc in hand. And violation because people moved before the disc was tapped in.
Modiano taps and goes to Amala. Amala leading throw, Ash Yo. Goes back to the inside through Amala. High take by Modiano. Axel Amala. Keeps it in front of Brooking. Brooking goes back to middle. Clapham pushing ever closer in this red zone. Funk finds Brooking. And Clapham answer back, 6 apiece.
And we're going to Galaxy Point. Halftime to 7. That did look like the defense was a bit off for Mooncatchers. Rather running after their respective matchups than preventing anything. You see that quick turnaround cut. Brooking, in addition to Clapham, I believe, this year. But making a name for himself early in the season.
So as mentioned, we're happy to share some more information about American players coming over. We're just doing a little negotiation here, simple exchange. There's almost 800 of you watching right now, which we're very excited to be able to report. The live numbers continue to grow this season. That will mean the on-demand numbers will exponentially as well. But of you all, just a few more, hit that like button. We want to talk, but we like negotiating as well. And it's wonderful engagement. You guys are just so wonderful back home. Prove it to me how wonderful you are. Hang and pull, Blastman back pedaling under it as this field 3 situation is getting exciting, and Bontemps somehow rescues that, then goes deep right away. Mueller's under it. Does he have enough room? He does. How improbable was that? I am not sure it was in, but they picked it up and went. He did have his toes in for sure. Was he down? I don't know, but he was up and confidently throwing Sofiane Bontemps after the throw went too high.
So many people around this play, actually, because it was right in front of us. And we saw that. I personally thought it was good, but we might at some point get the benefit of the replay, but Sofiane Bontemps definitely man of that point. Like the confidence of like picking that disc up and hucking it deep. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, there was an in-out for investigation as well as an up-down for investigation as too. That one was a bit of everything, and it got Moon a very handy hold in the end. The next pull coming up, 7-6 now, Moon.
Let's go, Dylan!
And Long will pick it up and bring it to the front cone after a land-in roll out. Not quite in the corner. Long to Funk.
Felix, your poach! Felix, your poach! Felix!
Back to Long. Mead with the disc. Mead goes across to Martin. Martin chops yards to Funk, and he goes the backhand straight away. Yo versus Demarais. Demarais gets in front and gets another T to his name.
I'm pretty sure Funk did not see who was right behind Joe in that situation, because Dan Demarais wasn't very far away, and that huck floated for ages. so much time for Desmarais to position himself in the correct way and then jump earlier and higher than Yo. That's for a break chance.
Mooncatchers break chance after that big defense. And taken right back on the doorstep. Mead. And then put away, but they were discussing. Crisafulli thought there might have been a foul, I believe, on what was the Clapham D. Where do we go from here? Here's the cut. Martin, from that angle, seemed to have cleanly gone around. We'll see if we might get another angle on this. Here we go. Nothing that is conclusive from that shot. Martin and Crisafulli discuss.
I clearly saw Felix got it first. I think that's my only comment. That's what I got.
Yeah, ref is calling turn. I was just I want to be sure. They're coming turn from the camera. I'm not sure because in that moment I felt like I had it.
The conversation must be, was there contact or not? Crisafulli is insisting there was. The angle we first saw, I thought there can always be contact that happens that I didn't see, but if there was, it seemed maybe not much. It seemed mild. I thought he had got that left hand around and in front.
I'm pretty sure he wasn't expecting the player to go from behind him, so he might have just wanted to go a step in the direction, and then the defensive player Martin was already there, and sometimes it's hard to differentiate between just shock because you're surprised the person is there, and did it actually this surprise already be influencing your movement.
We go for goal. Clapham in the end. Walk in a hold. A little bit ugly, but they do make it work.
7-7.
Couple mullets on the board.
Indeed. So we'll get a replay of Mead picking up here, putting it directly into the end zone for Martin. Same personnel as they had before, but just after the discussion.
More good news. We're only 8 likes away from that 100 mark. We'll be happy to share this information about American imports potentially playing in the European series. Is that happening? I don't know.
Well, you do know. You're not going to just.
Oh yeah, I do know, but just help me loosen my lips. 7-7. Time at 43 expired minutes.
Look at that pull. Everyone's already there. Oh my God, what a beauty.
Beautiful pull. Ort in acres of space puts the foot down inbounds. He blasts it to Karklins. Nice shot over Abrams. Drops back to Arters. Arters looking to the end zone, goes back to Karklins. Karklins in the corner to Blastman. A lot of openings available behind. He blades it into the middle. Ort there. Ort scoops over top. Ochinsky back to Yonkers. Yonkers fakes the backhand, gives the zippy forehand, and it's Mueller at the back of the end zone with another goal.
When that point started, I was really impressed by the pull at first, but then such easy work for Mooncatchers, just Ort completely open on this near side. I was like, oh, this is too easy. Then the huck goes up, and Clapham did recover by the end, really pushing them in the red zone. And that shot through, that is a pretty daring shot. It's not the easiest option, so they minimized all the easy options, took them away, and only had the tougher one through the middle. But worked regardless. We'll see that pole looking, it's floating so long, the defense even jogs towards their matchups. It's so nice. It's one of the controllables in a Frisbee game, the pole.
Oh, I'm allowed to share info next time we've got a break. James Mead with a disc. Goes to Funk. And then Mead. Axel Amala. Goes to James Mead and Axel Amala again. Of course, transferred from the mixed division back into the open division this year. That one too far. Modiano going to ground. And the Mooncatchers will pick up DeLuss striding to disc. DeLuss goes around. Demarais. Goes to Hockey and pops one forward. Chrisafuli. Hockey. Checking his options. Chrisafuli gives. Oh, and Hockey bobbles, and he's giving it back to Clapham for another chance to hold. Finds the corner. Amala runs it in, and it's a pair of snowmen on that board, make it 8 apiece.
A drop from either side first, Modigliano, and then Hockey. I don't think he expected that throw to go to him directly again. He tried to bobble, tried to still catch it, but couldn't quite get there.
So, thank you for your likes. You guys are all wonderful people. And yes, the Americans are coming to the European scene now. The scene has been continually mounting, the player base getting stronger, proving themselves on both continents and beyond. And we're getting maybe the first this year in our EUCS series where rosters are regulated. A offer from Paul Arders to play Windmill was given at first, and it was like, well, then we can't use those points to count for our ranking. And the negotiation continued, and Arders was like, well, I could probably come for Tom's, and if I stay for Tom's, I could do a lead invite, and then if I'm going to do that, I can come back in October. And Paul Arders, the first American to come over and to be rostered and ready for a full season. There is time left, American superstars. Maybe get on your negotiating with some of the European recruiters and see yourself featured in this incredible European tour. Oczynski goes to Yonkers. Yonkers winds up the backhand, puts it away. Victor Oczynski, Paul Arders. Over top to Bontemps, and there's a pick called.
And Bontemps in a lot of space.
Arders takes negative space and gets Yonkers. Muller. Bontemps. Blastman to Yonkers. Yonkers with wild fakes. Oczynski readjusts and collects. Oh, what a bid by Josh East. The Oczynski throw, not enough on it. And an ill-advised contest to throw to Wilson to East, and they capitalize on that one. Break back, taking the advantage.
It needed a heroic play, and there it was. Josh East jumping through and getting that D for Clapham. And then his brother connects for the score. I think the offensive structure from Mooncatchers is really interesting, but also invites these kind of inner shoulder layout defenses if you're quick enough and good enough. Great arcing shot around from Wilson, and then the jump in from East. Of course, that's the younger Tyler East. Stays in the family, the
Yeah,
Buggins.
Josh East gets the block. Tyler East gets the goal. A double happiness spread across the fraternal siblings. Shared double happiness. It can happen. (9-8) Clapham the advantage. 50 minutes plus expired. Just less than 10 till we're going to hear the horn. We'll keep you posted on time. Right now, Moon need to respond after being broken, putting their O-line back out. Arters goes to Blastman. All the way across the field to Yonkers and back to Blastman. Those two take turns, now feeding Arters again. Yonkers runs into the play. Leading throw, Bontemps takes high. Strong hands on that one, snatching it out of the sky. Ort to Arters. Arters finds Blastman. Thought about the push pass and a bit of contact in the cutting space.
It's very tight there in the front cone. Our players are bundling up around the disc. Would love to see them go back and around.
And shoveled in, but not in. Bontemps on the line. He drops back. Ort all alone in the dump space. Clapham trying to clog as much as they can in the end zone and around the goal line. Ort gets a defender, shoots up line to Yonkers. Yonkers quick to deliver into Blastman, and Mooncatchers respond with a hold.
They really wanted to hit that front cone, and they did in the end, moving the disc around a little bit, but getting there. Now, their movement was quite better this time, but still, when they stop, it seems like they're missing an initiation. They have to work so hard in the handler set. I would really love them to connect a little more with the cutters, but I've said that before. And I think that was their problem in the previous point where Clapham broke them, that they just didn't have the right continuation at the time, and I think they cleaned that up a little bit, really exploited the open space that Clapham gave them.
Tom Blastman, the scorer. The wraparound iridium lenses. And 9-9 the score line here. Moon pulling back to Clapham.
Of course, Blasman, actually Dutch, not from Belgium. Played for Gut, but they decided to go single gender this year, and instead of going with Gut Open, he tried out for Mooncatchers, and I think Mooncatchers are pretty happy to have him.
I would say so. Hands up for the D-line. Bontemps spins and leans into this pull. We've been getting some hang time counts on some of these pulls. Another absolute beauty from Bontemps there. This is turning into a nice pulling game as well. Mead zips across, gets Nugent. Hard inside cut throw. Nugent goes deep, Wilson's there, and the throw is not on. Moon with another chance to break. What a game we've got here.
It's crazy. These shots should be good in theory, but Desmarais always looking for this exact shot to poach off on.
Abeltinch goes to Desmarais. Ochinski joining the D-line as Vandenbroek comes under. Switch on the D. Wilson very close to a sniff there. Betrancourt goes up line to Bontemps, and now Desmarais. A few of the O-line members have switched over for this D point, at least including Ochinski and Bontemps. Abeltinch, you hear the 5-minute bell going, M83 playing in the background. That's a speculative one, but they do get away with it. Bontemps with a disc. Appleton's cuts up line and they shoot center to Desmarais. Desmarais gets a bump on the mark and does eventually call the foul. Accepted by Rag. Desmarais dish back. Ochinsky. Appleton's comes, give an option. Bakeman's in the corner. Bakeman's waits for cuts. Desmarais was into traffic and he goes wide to Appleton's back to the brick mark. Appleton's to Vandenbroek, who's got a mark of his efforts all over the front of his shirt. Appleton's left hand, far side. Desmarais takes high. Looks to the end zone with Abrams draped all over. Chips one in. Betrancourt there. And Moon break back late in this game. 10-9. We're going back and forth.
Such great work from Mooncatchers there on their defense point. Of course, moving some people over, as you mentioned, during the point. But that was really important to have the extra legs of Bonson, who has been a standout, especially in this later stage of the game. It's like really impressive athletics and throwing skills.
How is this one going to shake out? We've seen a few of you in the chat giving your opinion. Feel free to let us know who's going to take this one. It's as close as you can slice them. It has been from beginning to end. Breaks on both sides, staggered throughout the game. These teams, no strangers, of course. Last year, Moon getting the best of them all season long, and even in the national iteration where a lot of the same players represented Belgium versus GB. But at the end, at the very end, it was Clapham who dominated and took the European crown back once again in Poland and humbled this hot Mooncatchers team. One of the first big hit-outs of the season. We see him battling in the semi, and it is turning into an instant classic. Meade goes to Funk. Funk to Modiano. Or tight on the mark. Modiano goes deep and all alone, but can he get there? Not quite. Just beyond the outreached arm of Henry Brooking. Throw a bit too much on it.
Brooking came over from Bristol last year, and apparently has been winning all the speed contests for Clapham and GB. So, yeah, he could have gotten there. Definitely a speedster.
Wonder if he's faster than me then.
Yes, he is.
Okay, probably. We'll have to race, though. Carclinch to Appletonch. We've got the two Latvians now anchoring a line. Carclinch winds up, sees Desmarais. Yo coming into the picture. Desmarais bodies out very, very well. Yo does everything to get horizontal, and a huge break again for the Mooncatchers. First time we've had 2 points of separation in this game. Yo shaking up on the play.
And what a great move there from Desmarais. The perfect put into space, and the one-on-one Yo and Desmarais has worked out very well for Desmarais before, and again, a lot of body contact in the battle towards the disc, but very well from Desmarais to use it and to let him to move with the contact, and then in the perfect moment makes 2 quicker steps because he knows he has those 2 quicker steps on Yo and leaves him in the dust. Yo then back paddled on the back of Desmarais, which then unfortunately led to Yo shaken up.
Here's another look. Great body work by Desmarais to just run and stay in front. Yo, you got to give him credit doing everything there. Landed on Desmarais' heels, but everybody gets up all right. Desmarais with a semi-exuberant spike at the end of it all. So pressure now shifted firmly onto the Bullfrogs. Clapham down a deuce, and one of my favorite songs echoes through the sky. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. The buzzer goes, and we will finish this point and add 1. We're playing to 12 or 13. We'll let you know after the goal. Rag goes to Abrams. Abrams finds Wilson. Wilson takes the up line. Tom Abrams leads. Wilson's there. Thought about the hammer. Zips one in front. Desmarais again. He's having a day. That's at least 3 blocks, potentially 4, I think, now. And Abeltinch cuts across to Hoke's. Scoop to Vandenbroek. Low throw, and what a catch by Betrancourt. They are making plays. Desmarais with Rag on his back. Backhands inside, add an assist to the Desmarais tally. Hoke with the goal. And what a game by Dan Desmarais now with this stat count mounting.
Very impressive, but not surprising. And we've got a game to 13. Frustration by Clapham. They couldn't keep their composure at the late stages of the game.
It was 9-9.
It was
4. It was 8-9. In fact, Clapham with the advantage, and 4 in a row puts us in this looming situation for Clapham to have to be able to hold and break 3 in a row themselves if they're gonna want a chance at this one.
I've seen crazier things happen, to be fair.
I've seen Clapham pull off crazier things, to be fair.
But also, this break here took everything out of Mooncatchers. There was probably 3 very contested throws that got a bit lucky, but as you always say, gotta be good to be lucky.
Indeed. Indeed the case. Long needs to extend. Gordon goes to Martin. Mueller was on the chase. Martin gets Gordon going up line and gets all sorts of room. He leads quickly, and Modiano's there. Clapham will put their D-line on the field for the rest of the game. How many points will that be is the big question.
I'm not so sure. I think the way Mooncatchers are playing right now, they're just going to smoothly work it on offense. Hanny thinks that for sure. Doing our
Benji
stats.
Reese in the comments wondering if Dan Desmarais is good with a stat line of 3 blocks, 2 assists, and 2 goals. And knowing that Benji knows full well, yes, of course, Dan Desmarais, a very good player, and doing it now on the D-line. They're giving him another role, and he's still rising to the occasion and finding ways to be a central figure to this team.
I think it's so important to, after you got the block, to have someone who can anchor your D-line offense, and Dan Desmarais definitely is the person for the job.
So Desmarais equaling, or 1 away from equaling the block count of all of Clapham. They have 3 blocks, 4. And yeah, the Moon block count is much higher, knowing that Dan Desmarais has 3 himself. Yonkers runs it in, game point here for Moon. Yonkers goes back to Blasman. Yonkers to Blasman again. Car clinch was open but didn't take him on the under. Now Arters gives a good cut. Arters goes straight back to Blasman. Arters looking for the upfield. Goes inside. Carclinch is there. Yonkers winds up the backhand. Now gives the forehand. Nugent has a bid, but Ort collects. Quickly distributed. That's it. Mooncatchers are going to the final. Tom's Tourney will feature Moon versus La Fota in the final coming up later today. But what a game that was. An incredible semifinal, Christina.
Indeed, there was everything. Great catches, defenses, crazy throws. And I think those two teams are just one household of European ultimate. They're just an amazing game, and Mooncatchers did win this time, but they were full squad. Clapham wasn't, and I would give them the edge for that. I'm so looking forward to seeing another one of those matchups, maybe at Windmill and for sure at EUCF.
A wonderful game. Shout outs to some of the biggest contributors on the losing side of things. Conrad Wilson was very good with 4 assists today, as was James Mead having 3 assists and a goal. But it's that winning side there. You get the 7 stat line we talked about from Desmarais. Muller with a massive game, a goal, 2 assists and a block. Betrancourt with a doubles. Bontemps contributing. It was a great game. Ben Ort with 2 goals, or 2 assists and a goal to his name as well. And there is the final goal scorer, Sofiane Bontemps, as we have a quick look at our match stats here. Anything stand out there for you, Christina?
I think definitely the clean holds and the break chances are much higher for Mooncatchers.
Yeah, I mean, it's those chances. We talked about the breaks, the blocks, sorry, earlier, but to get 9 chances, I mean, Clapham were perfect, 4 for 4 on their opportunities. You can't do much better than that. You can't do any better than that percentage-wise, but they were generated less than half the opportunities, and a 7 for 9 is a pretty tidy conversion rate just the same, and obviously that many more. So that is going to do it from this semifinal today. We have finals action coming up next, starting in Division 2, moving through women's and opens. I know you guys will be there. Don't miss a minute. Stay locked on to ULTI.TV here at Tom's Tourney 2024. For Christina Obermeyer, I've been Stefan Rapazzo. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you. Thanks.
Yeah, ultimate.
ULTI.TV.